Good. Let me share my screen now. BA. Excel is high on the ganja right now. Taking some time. Good. It's opening. Okay, so we are there into the third worksheet. The name of it is the exponential smoothing and moving average. Now these are extremely regarded two of the forecasting techniques. More than just the forecasting, it also helps you to analyze the data, and it also helps you to identify the trend and the reversal of the trend. Specifically, if you go to some of the data like stock markets, where the trends are visible and the trend gets continued for a few number of periods, the periods could be month, the period could be year, the period could be the week, or it could be just a 5 minutes time frame as well. If you're doing the intraday trading, at that time too, the moving averages helps you a lot. So two of the techniques that we are going to see right now is, one is the exponential smoothing, another one is the moving average. The name looks very complicated, but let me tell you, these methods are extremely easy to implement as well as to analyze. There is absolutely no rocket science involved over there. It's just like you are taking the past data as a base and you are trying to forecast something out of the past data. So I guess the exponential smoothing will be the next one. Let me first go to the moving average. Okay, so see, when it comes to the moving average, no, we are right now there into the demand forecasting. Do not forget that. So we have the demand of the quantity sold on a daily basis. We want to predict that. See, from the 1st of February, we have got the data up to 2nd of March, and we want to predict, say, for the 3rd of March, which is the current date, if I'm not wrong. No, 2nd of March is the current date. Okay. So for today as well, we have got the data. We want to predict it for tomorrow now. So based on the moving average, how can we do it? Now see, when it comes to the moving average, it's nothing but you take the average of past few observations you have seen. Now do not get confused. The moving average which you use in the ARMA and the ARIMA model is slightly different. Here we are just taking the simple moving average, which is of the past data. So I am there right now on the 1st of February, say that is the first value I have. Previous data is not available to me, so I'll not be able to find the moving average of the previous 3 days. For the 2nd of February, if I get 53,465, again, I do not have the data for previous 3. I cannot find the moving average. Now 3 is the leg which I am using. You may take 2, you may take 7, you may take 21. Generally in the finance world, when we do the technical analysis, no, at that time, the 20-day moving average is very famous. And to find the trend analysis, we also use 50 and 200 days moving averages. And these two moving averages and their crossovers gives us the idea that where the trend will be moving, whether the trend will get continued or there is a chance of reversal in the trend. Now I'll tell you how to calculate this 50 and 200. Here in this case, we have the data which is in a daily time zone, daily time frame. And say we are taking the moving average of last 3 days. Then how we can find it? You can just apply the average function as well. And you can take the average of last 3 legs. And you get the moving average. That's the best way you have, right? But Excel also gives you the moving average. You won't have to manually do it in your Excel file like this. What you're supposed to do is, let me just go over there. So magnifier needs to be used. Otherwise, some people would be like, "Sir, इतने छोटे अक्षर कैसे दिखेगा हमें?" Where is the magnifier? Okay. So first I'll go to the data. You people have already got that data analysis step there. Then you go to the data analysis. And my dear friends, in the data analysis, you have something called moving average. Now you press OK on that. Then it asks you what is the input range. Input range is going to be always the historical data I have from which I want to predict something. So I'm clicking on that and I'm selecting including the headings, that's fine. I mean, even if you select the headings, you will have to tick mark over there that you have selected the headings. Sir, you will have to go down, control shift down arrow. You will have to select the entire range of the data, pressing the enter. Then tell it to the Excel. Do not forget, my dear friends, that the first row is the label, because that's where we have included our headings. Then it comes the interval. It tells you that you want the moving average for the previous 4 observations, 3, 5, whatever the observations you want, for which you require the moving average, my dear friends. You will be just writing it over there. Say, I want it for 3 observations. I'm putting 3 there. लेकिन सर इनपुट हो गया, प्रोसेस हो गया, आउटपुट कहाँ पे? Click on this and select the range where you want to give the output. I would give the output over here. Say I want to give the output here. Okay, so I'm selecting cell number K1, then pressing enter. Now let's take the chart output as well, which will be comparing the moving average with the actual ones we have. So I'm clicking on the chart output to standard errors. If you want to find the standard error between the two range, then you can click on this. If you do not want, then keep it as it is, pressing OK. So my dear friends, you must have got the moving average over here. Moving average starts with the third one, because only for the third one you have the data, right? Because for the first and second, you do not have the data for the previous legs. So it will not be able to give you the moving average idea. So for the third one you have got, for the fourth one as well you have got, and we have taken 3 legs over here, right? Now if you check this moving average plot, now this is not looking good. I need to actually reduce few scales, because then it will look better. So actually it starts, every entries are above 50,000 only. So we may take the minimum amount as 45, so that we'll be able to analyze the chart better, because it's not looking good right now. So what you can do is you can select this range, which is 0 to 80,000, the axis value. Have a right click on that. Then there is something called format axis. So click on the format axis, and you would be selecting minimum at 45, because you will have to select the bounds, so minimum will be starting at 45, so that the data will be able to understand that what is the difference we have got between the moving average and the actual figures we have observed. So after that, you may just go over here and check it out. Now you may see, now let me just increase the size of the chart a bit, then also it would look better, I guess. So I'm just increasing the size of the chart like this. Good. Now it looks good. See. Okay, so the blue ones you have got is your actual amounts of the demand, and the red one is the moving average. Now, how can you predict based on the moving average? You can also analyze the trend. Here in this case, you may see that the primary trend is the upward, but in a time frame, you can see that the secondary trend is also being observed, which is a slightly downward in nature. Now in the finance, we generally take 50 days moving average and 200 days moving average for the analysis purpose. That is a very practical guidance I'm telling to you right now. If you have the stock prices like this, and say this is the 50-day moving average, sorry, 200-day moving average, and say this is 50-day moving average. So when the 50-day moving average is crossing over the 200 moving average, no, at that time you become bullish, because what does it tell you? That 50 days momentum is quite stronger as compared to 200 days momentum. Similarly, if the 50 days moving average is crossing over the 200 moving average at the downside like this, at that time you can make some of the conclusions like 50 days momentum is stronger than 200 days momentum at the downside. That means the recent trend about the 50 days moving average so there is a further chance the 50 days moving average, when the 50 days moving average crosses over the 200 days moving average, at that time we become bullish about the stocks. It is also called as the golden crossover in the finance. Now, this can be specifically applicable when you analyze the trends. When you see that the data is there where the trend is established, or where you can establish the trend. So this is how it looks like. I hope that's pretty much clear to everyone. So you can just go over there in the moving average and you can check it. It's nothing but the moving average of the last previous 3 legs, including the current one. Right? You go to the next one, you have the legs over there. Let me just control exit and put it over here so that you get it in a better way now. So it's nothing but the average we have. And it gives you a lot of information about, whether there can be a trend reversal possible or not. Now, if you analyze the trend a bit, no, I'm little bit skeptical about this. The number of corona patients, the number of new COVID cases, it is right now, going ahead of the 5 days moving average. So it is constantly from last 2 to 3 days. It is constantly beating the 5 days moving average, which is a sign of a concern, which can be a sign of, another wave in the new COVID cases. And now you can take few decisions based on these crossovers as well. You may see that if the crossover is happening with the great volumes, no, I mean the underlying quantity is also very high, it can be a chance of the trend reversal. And if the major spikes are happening where, the crossovers are 50 days crossover is there for the 200 days, 50 days is crossing over the 200 days at the upside. That means 50 days momentum is quite strong as compared to the 200 days momentum at the upside. Now, when this crossover happens, no, you can see that the major spikes happens. On that particular day, the stock market stock prices goes 5%, 6% down, or 5%, 6% up, based on whatever the nature of crossover is. If the crossover is the downward, then 5% slump may take place. And if the 50-day crossover is at the upward side, then the 5% of the spike may take place, increment may take place. So at the crossovers, you may assume that on those particular days, there could be some swings. Anyway, that's more about this. So you may analyze this moving average. I hope that's pretty much clear to everyone. May I have the confirmation from the students, please? Have you all got the moving average over there? Good. Show us a confirmation through the chat box, everyone. Ouch. Miss Jalpa has got, Miss Heli has got, good. Miss Aruna has got as well, Miss Dhara too, good. Miss Krishna. Okay, let's move ahead. Now, what happens in the simple moving average, my dear friends, is that, see, you give the same weights to everyone. Now, sometimes you need to give the different weights to the past data based on their importance. If you feel that, sir, the past data matters only 50 percentage, so only 60 percentage, and 40 percentage is something which is the current data which should matter. When you take the simple average of anything, no, that means you give the same weights to everyone, right? So if I take say 10 plus 11 plus 13, and then I divide it by 3, that means I have given the same weight to this pair, this fellow, this all three. What if the recent data matters more to me? Or I may say, what if the previous data matters more to me as compared to the recent data? So how do you define that what matters more and what matters not much? If something matters more, that means it holds the great weight, right? And if something does not matter a lot, that means it should have the lesser weight. So exponential smoothing is nothing but you smooth your time series by giving the weights to the previous data. Now say you give the weight, the current actual price you have got, no, you want to give 0.4 percentage weight to the current and 0.6 percentage weight to the previous value you had forecasted. Let's apply this. I guess after that you will be able to get it in a better way. So let's go to the data, and in the data you go to the data analysis, and in the data analysis you go to the exponential smoothing, which is looking like this. Press OK. Then it tells you about the input range. So input range is anyway, sir, is going to be our quantity sold. So I'm just selecting the quantity sold right from the first to the last one. Laptop is again high on the ganja. The shift button is not working in my case. I don't know why. Just a second, please. भैया शुरू हो जा शिफ्ट. अरे ओ शिफ्ट. Exponential smoothing. Okay. Just a second. You may start doing it if you are aware about it. Okay, fine. Let me click it. I seriously, when I use the mouse in the Excel, no, I get the inferiority complex. I generally avoid the mouse. Whenever I use it, no, I come to know that yaar mere ko Excel nahi aata. But now I'll have to do it, because shift button has stopped working. So anyway, I'm selecting it with the mouse click now. So including the headings I have selected, my dear friends, pressing the enter. Then here I would be must ticking on the labels because label is also been selected, heading. And here there comes a damping factor, right? So how much smoothing you want to allow, how much weight you want to give to the previous data. Say I want to give weight for 0.3 to the previous data, so I'm writing 0.3. Please make sure that it must be there somewhere between 0 to 1 only, right? In terms of percentage as well, if you convert this decimal into percentage, that becomes percentage. So it's the 30 percentage weight to the previous one. Now here it requires the output range. Now let me select the output range somewhere. You may put the output range wherever you want to. I'm putting it over here, say in the U numbers column, V numbers column, pressing enter. Now chart output as well we require, so I'm clicking on that too, pressing OK. Okay, so for the first one, my dear friends, you must have observed that it has taken the same value, which was the actual value. So it was B2 equal to B2. You must check it. But for the next one, it has given the 7 percentage weight to B3. Right? So 7 percentage, sorry, 70 percentage weight to the B3, which that means it has given more weight to the current figures, and that's what we have decided, right? And 30 percentage weight is been given to the previously forecasted value. So previously forecasted value was 5282. Let me use the magnifier so that you get it in a better way. See? So previously forecasted value, it has given a 0.3 weight. For the next one as well, you may check it, that 70% of the weight is given to the current value, which is B4, which is the actual value, right? So the B4 is like this, which is 51,911, and and 30% weight is given to the previous one. So that's happening all over the data, right? You may analyze the differences between the two as well. Now, say if I want to predict it for the 3rd of March over here. Let me go over there in the data. Yes, I was there on the 3rd of March, right? If I want to predict it for the 3rd of March, then what will I do? The exponential smoothing I have done for the 2nd of March, no, that's going to be the prediction for the 3rd of March. So 68 is going to be the prediction from my side for the 3rd of March. Now, if someone wants to predict the next value, the immediate next value, you may take the exponential smoothing as well, which is nothing but generally in the allocation of the weights to the previous legs, you know. Now, please make sure that the damping factor is applied on the forecasted value, not on the actual value. I hope you must be clear about this. It's on the forecasted value. So that's the smoothing taking place. You know, the previous data is taking place. Okay. Now, again, you may plot this one too. I guess we might have got the chart over there. सर ये चार्ट तो कैसा दिख रहा है, देखो तो सही, इसमें से क्या एनालाइज कर सकते हैं. Then you can reduce the scales. No, you people are aware about it. Let me do it. Let me just select this Y column, right click, then format axis. Then in the format axis, I'm taking the minimum bounds at 45. And units, let's keep the unit at 10,000, 20,000 range only. That's fine, no worries. Let me increase the size of it a bit. Good. So this is how the plotting looks like. That's nothing but the comparison between the actual and the forecasts you have. Now see, you must have observed that. See why the moving average is been beaten that much in the actual one. Here in this one, the spike took place, right? The spike took place. That's why there was a lot of quantity that was sold in the period number 20. Spike took place. That's why the moving average got a crossover. Sorry, the exponential smoothing got a crossover like this. Now that's what I was trying to explain you. When you get the stock market data as well, no, at that time too, if the moving averages are crossing over, you can expect some spikes to take place. That can help you to build your option trading strategy. That can help you to build your derivative trading strategy. That can help you to, you know, frame your arbitrage strategy too. So when the crossovers takes place, no, the spikes takes place. Now here in this case, the spike has happened. That's why the crossover has happened. But when you go to the markets, no, at that time, if you see that the crossover is taking place slowly and gradually, then once the crossover takes place, no, at the upside, then the spike will take place in the volume in the very next day. You may check it in some of the data. Let me just go to, now I'm doing it for the very first time, but I'll be proving it to you over here in this. Let me just go to some of the stocks. We were there into the demand forecasting, huh? But I'm just for the explanation of this moving average and its crossovers, I'm taking you to some data. Do not worry. Say, let me just take Nifty here. So I'm taking the Nifty 50. Let me just go to the full featured chart. Some people like हम तब तक क्या करें, तो तुम भी कर सकते हो ना, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूं. Okay, now let me just add the moving averages now. How can I add the moving average? Where do I have the indicators? Just give me a 1 minute. Here I have the indicators. No, not here. Okay, here I have the indicators. So I'm selecting the moving average. Moving average. So I'm selecting the moving average. Okay, so it has given me the moving average. Let me just check it that it has taken the moving average for how many number of periods. I guess it's the moving average of 9 periods. On the left hand side my mouse cursor is over there. Check it out. It's 9 days moving average. ये लैपटॉप आज क्यों चिपक रहा है यार? जस्ट अ सेकेंड. देखो ये ऐड को मेरे को कैसे, हाँ अब बंद हुआ. गुड. So you may check it over here on the left hand side. It's moving average of 9. Now let me take the moving average of say 50. So I'm changing the settings from here. Just give you the brief idea about this crossovers, you know. And instead of 9, I am putting 50. Pressing OK. So now I have the 50 days moving average. And here I would be putting 200 days moving average. So going to the settings. So instead of 9, I'm putting 200. Pressing OK. Good. So now I have the moving average of the periods, but what are the periods I have taken? That also you should take care about. Because the periods could be the monthly, it could be, you know, it could be daily. Let me just go to the daily periods. I'm there right now in which time frame? Just a second. ये स्मॉल नहीं हो रहा है, बड़ा हो गया, अपने कम नहीं हो रहा है, तो ये चार्ट में एडजस्ट हो रहा है पूरा. बोलो. इधर से साइज डिक्रीज करूँ तो हो रहा है, तो भी नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, reload it. Just a second. કેટલા વાગે? હા તો વાંધો નહીં ને. કેટલા? 11:30 જ છે. બાજુવાળો ખાલી છે? બાજુવાળો જીન્સી ને મોકલી દે ને, ત્યાં બેસી જાવ ને. ત્યાં જીન્સી બેઠેલી છે, એમને કે રોનક સરે કીધું અહીંયા આવી જા. ए यार ये कम क्यों नहीं हो रहा है इसका साइज? जस्ट अ सेकेंड. ये पूरा चार्ट एडजस्ट हो रहा है. आई वांट टू रिड्यूस द साइज ऑफ इट. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I need to add the moving averages again. I'm sorry. Huh? You can also do it if you want to. Okay, so it's a 5 minutes time horizon. See, let me take 1 day time horizon over here. So that means every candle you have, no, it is for the 1 day. Not working well. reload it again. Five minutes nahi, I want it for 1 day. Okay, some problems are occurring. No worries, fine. But you may apply it on your PC as well. I tried it in front of you, but the problem is that it's taking some time for the adjustment. I don't want to waste too much of time of yours. So what I wanted to say over there is that when you see that the crossovers are taking place, no, 50 days moving average is crossing over the 200 days moving average. Say this is the 200 and here it comes the 50 days. So when the 50 days moving average will close over at this point, at that time you may expect that the volumes also will be very high and the spike can also be very high, which can be the swing of around 5 to 6%. And at the same time here, when the 50-day moving average cross over the 200 days moving average, no, the volume will be too high and the slump will also be very high, which can be around 5 to 6% at the downside. So at that time you can frame your strategies a bit. And that was observed. I had put this post in the corona number of patients as well. So when the moving average was crossing over, the actual cases were crossing over the moving average, no, that was sign of the concern. Again, in last few days data you may analyze, the current rate at which the number of cases are added is crossing over the moving average of last 5 days, which is again a sign of concern. And you can also establish that where can be the resistance, where can be the support based on the moving averages. Very simple tool to understand, but for the analysis purpose you can take a lot of help from this. Sometimes what happens that we think too much complicated, but the data lies in some of the simple things only, right? You can analyze some of the very simple things which gives you a very simple kinda understanding. When I say the crossover is taking place for the 50 days and 100 days, 200 days, the simple meaning is that last 50 days momentum is stronger than last 200 days momentum. And if it is crossing over, no, that's a sign of some spikes. That's the sign of the trend reversal which may take place. So you may take it for the use wherever you would have the time series data. Okay, so what we have seen right now is we have seen the exponential smoothing and the moving average. Exponential smoothing and the moving average both are basically the same, but in the exponential smoothing you give the weights as per your choice. So how much weight you want to give the previous forecasted value? You may put 0.4, you may put 0.5, 0.6. This is something where you will have to apply your judgment. There is no specific rules and regulations that how much weight you could give to the previous leg. If you want to give the 1% leg, justify it. Now, lesser and lesser weight you give to the previous value, no? That means the smoothing is not much. Only the current value is forming a part of your prediction. And more weight you give to the last predicted value, that means the smoothing is much. Smoothing is taking place and the current value is been taken at a lesser weight. So this is how you can analyze the smoothing as well as the moving average. Is it clear, everyone? May I have the confirmation from all the students? I'm sorry I could not show you this 50-day 100 200 move crossovers over there in the data, but it was getting stuck actually. I did not want to take too much of time of yours. May I have the Chotusa confirmation from all the students, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. No worries. We'll do it at some later stage. Don't worry. We have too many other things as well. Okay, so see you all in the next session where we'll go to some of the other methods of the demand projection. So that's it from my side. Please put your enrollment number in the chat box as a mark of your attendance. And once it is done, we may disperse from the lecture. Bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy your rest of the day. ये देखो ऐसा डेटा होता है, ऐसा डेटा होता है, ऐसा चार्ट दे रहा है, देखो मैं को ये नॉनसेंस. Okay, bye bye, take care. Please put your enrollment number and then you may leave.